Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Collector with the Weekly Comics Wrap. We're most of the way through, and time to wrap things up with this week's Batman books. We'll kick things off with Catwoman, number 57. So where we left off, Batman was not exactly happy about Catwoman's plan, and after one of her thieves was killed during an attempted robbery, well, he went pretty hard against the entire group, bringing down, well, quite quite the problem for bringing about quite the problem for Catwoman as her training space was attacked by Batman, and many of the thieves were brought in, though Batman was unable to stop even close to everyone, and went back to the brownstone to plan for to continue planning, when he got an alert that someone had entered Wayne Manor, which he had learned earlier had been sold. Upon arriving at the manor, Batman has met the new owner, Vandal Savage. So the issue begins where this was the issue of Batman left off. Batman is very clearly not happy that Vandal Savage has bought Wayne Manor, but Savage claims that what he wants with Wayne Manor is it's been a long time since he's made his home in such a lovely cave. But Batman goes to his parents' grave, saying that he's lost the manor, let it be taken by another, saying that he won't lose it. He won't lose his soldiers. They can't be bought, but they can be saved. Catwoman watches from a distance with Marquise, noting that, yeah, Batman's not looking good. She knows now that Vandal Savage is in the city, and he's got his sights set on Batman. That is, Batman's coming apart. It's happened before. Batman wants a Gotham that is good instead of a Gotham that's healthy. Marquise also asks if Catwoman intends to, or if basically having Jason along is part of throwing Batman off balance, and if they're going to tell him about Batman cracking up. Catwoman says no, and while all's fair in love and war, she's not interested in earning Jason's loyalty through shit-talking Batman. Her and Jason want the same thing: peace and understanding. But new training spot, new job for the night. They're going to learn how to steal cars. A gala for the arts. Cat will be inside in disguise. Red Hood will be running the valet crew, while everyone takes care of the cars. That night, Batman gets a sign from the Riddler using one of the enhanced vision modes on his cowl and manages to get in and straight to a recording from Riddler offering a riddle, which tells him where the which gala it is, who's holding the gala. Things are going fairly smoothly at the gala. Jason manages to get his people get them through. Explain no funny driving. They leave here, follow the route, stealing cars at high level, but it's money on wheels. But Jason knows Batman's already there. The two of them duke it out with Red Hood running to draw Batman to chase him. Batman obliges, while Catwoman watches the performance of Turandot, her favorite opera. Things are going well, though. Jeweler being nicked. The addition that everyone there will likely be too busy filing insurance reports on their missing cars to notice their absent jewels. Not a single punch thrown. The attendees at the Gotham toast to a safer Gotham. Jason's pulled off his bike by Batman. The two of them continue to fight. And Batman injects Jason with something, knocking him out. Outside the gala, Nightwing and Catwoman talk. She of course inquires if there were leaks that if someone leaked her location at Nightwing or what, but he explains that he remembers being taken to a performance of Turandot by Bruce and Selina years ago. And Selina telling him it was her favorite opera. It's a longer story, and Selina says that Dick talking like that makes her feel so stupid that they're all fighting. And he kind of points out that maybe she should think about that then. Back inside the gala, Selina shares is dancing, and a partner cuts in. Vandal Savage, trying to recruit her into being his lieutenant when he takes over Gotham. Adding that she might find herself short on good help very soon. Back at the brownstone, Batman has Red Hood held prisoner, or seemingly is accessing Red Hood's comms through his mask, listening in. While Selina's trying to get a hold of him, and of course thinking the worst, that something may have happened to Jason, and well, Bruce would never forgive her. Elsewhere, Marquise, it will not be Marquise, but rather Scandal Savage, infiltrating, getting close to, basically as something of a vanguard into Gotham's underworld for her father, Vandal Savage. It should be noted that Scandal has there's no lost love between Scandal and her father. But Vandal Savage explains that Marquise has been embedded with Selina for a while. Certainly but you wait on things just a bit longer. That is where the issue ends. What's going on with Marquise will be continued in the next issue of Batman, while what's happening with Red Hood will be continued in the Gotham War Red Hood miniseries. This story is definitely taking its interesting turns, with Zdarsky's run on Batman taking some interesting turns in the months to come as well. Moving on, though, to our next book, we've got Nightwing number 106. So, months ago, Tony Zuko attempted to rob the Hold, an underworld bank kept in a giant boat off of near Bloodhaven. During this, Nightwing learned that he has a box there. So we open with a flashback to the Rick Grayson days, 2 years ago. A guy from the circus has been tailing Rick, gives him a package. At the Prodigal Bar, Rick's looking at the package, trying to figure out what to do with it, but he decides he needs someone to keep hold of it. In the event that his memories return. As in the Rick Grayson era, Dick was amnesiac after surviving a gunshot to the head. But the bartender, B, thinks she knows a place. A couple nights later, the quartermaster shows up. Rick Grayson enters Nightwing's name into the log for locker 538. Now, 5 in the afternoon, Titan's Tower, and Dick's working on getting up. Continually asking for 5 more minutes for apparently the last couple hours. Nightwing comes in and Haley comes in trying to wake him up with Beast Boy following in dog form. That gets Dick out of bed. But Dick figures it's time to finally ask just what is in locker 538. At the Hold, Heartless attacks. Quartermaster attempts to stop him, but the quartermaster himself is killed. Heartless and Tony Zuko go into the Hold with the expectation of emptying it out, only to discover that the Hold is gone. An hour later, Nightwing is present with Bloodhaven Commissioner Maggie Sawyer, and wanting to know just what's going on. And Nightwing tells her what he can, which isn't too terribly much because there's a lot he doesn't know. But he follows the ambulance that's carrying the quartermaster's body. Basically breaking in, dealing with paramedics who don't seem to actually be paramedics. However, it seems that the ambulance is taking them elsewhere. A boat. Boat commanded by Captain Blood, also known as B. And that's where our A story ends. So we've got a B story. Dick training with Cass at the Batgirl's loft. Not just fight training. Teaching her how to cook cook pancakes. But Hitman's watching Dick. But it doesn't look like the opportunity to present itself. The crew that Hitman is working for are waiting for the right time to strike. The pancakes eventually come out right. Steph returns to the loft, slips out of her costume and joins them all for pancakes. And for the first batch, well, not even Haley will touch them. Got a little too cooked. But the person watching Dick gives up for the time being and heads off. The story will be continuing. So the group has Nightwing under observation. It refers to themselves as the Three Bears. They apparently operate currently out of a warehouse full of teddy bears, which leaves for target practice. But yeah, good issue. I have to admit to being quite curious as to what it was Nightwing had in the hold. Hopefully we'll find out soon. And the backup story looks like it ought to be fun as it plays out. Moving on to our next book, we've got World's Finest, number 19. Where we left off, the disappearances in Gotham had, and the fact that suddenly the Riddler was utilizing Kryptonian writing led Superman to Gotham. Batman and Superman worked together to figure things out, discovering that Riddler was actually working with the Phantom Zone criminal Jack Sword, who at the end of the issue managed to get out, swapping his place in the Phantom Zone, swapping Batman for himself, Batman in the Phantom Zone for himself. Jack Sword and Superman duke it out. Batman and Alfred discuss what to do. Alfred's trying to keep those who are trapped in the zone calm. At the moment, Superman currently has an advantage, as he's had more time to absorb sunlight and absorb yellow sunlight to his powers. Batman and Superman come up with a plan via telepathy. Jack Sword manages to get the drop on him, but a Phantom Zone rift opens up, and Jack Sword reaches through, pulling Batman out. Batman gets an idea of who Jack Sword is and helps Superman think like a sociopath with a grudge, asking if there are any other Kryptonians on Earth, and Superman realizes that yes, there are. The inhabitants of Kandor. In the Fortress of Solitude, Jack Sword has Kandor and is using his heat vision to cook everyone inside. Batman and Superman show up. Superman deals with Jack Sword while Batman works on a plan to just return Jack Sword to the Phantom Zone. Alfred sees a hooded figure walking through the Phantom Zone. Doesn't seem to be trapped in there. However, his departure seems to stop the rift from opening. Batman grabs the Phantom Zone projector while Jack Sword continues to beat on Superman. Jack Sword seemingly destroys the Phantom Zone projector, only to discover that it was just an empty projector. The circuitry had been worked into the fortress's floor, returning Jack Stewart to the Phantom Zone, and then later enabling Batman to get everyone out. In Gotham, Batman and Superman stop the Riddler, who's kind of just glad not to be hearing any more voices from the air. They opt to work together. The hooded figure is Alfred informs Superman about the hooded figure, and they figure they'll be seeing each other again regularly. There's an epilogue. The hooded figure is known as Aether the Messiah, who thinks that Phantom Zone is an inapprehensible hell, wondering what soulless monster would allow such eternal suffering to exist, and, well, he seems intent upon freeing everyone in the Phantom Zone from the zone. That will be continued in the pages of Action Comics next year, and that is where the issue and this current arc ends. Kind of neat seeing the current continuity first meeting of Batman and Superman. Seems every time there's a continuity reboot, that's something a story DC does have to retell, is how the world's finest came to first work together. But it's good. It's a good story, but I was talking about this yesterday, about how when it comes to Mark Waid, and especially with World's Finest, it's one of DC's best books at the moment, and in all honesty, I would be surprised even if the book was just mediocre. And to be fair, it's one of the DC books I look forward to the most every month. Moving on, though, to our last book for the week, we've got Harley Quinn, Black, White, and Redder, number 3. And once again, as mentioned last month before, this is an anthology series. Each story focusing on Harley by a different creative team. No connections between the stories aside from Harley being there. So first, we've got Deeply Strange Adventures. Harley's asked about things she regrets. Nothing she can really think of, but then she remembers the time that she intercepted the Zeta beam and ended up on Ran in place of Adam Strange. Met by Strange's beloved, promptly kissed her thinking she was Adam, until not bothering to look before leaping, basically. But, well, she gets suited up, and desert people are proving to be a problem for the junkers of the desert, are looking to assault one of the great cities of Ran, and so Harley's suited up in similar gear to Adam Strange, saves the day. It is brought up, and in return for helping Ran, gets a Ranian plant, which he gives to Ivy. Ivy's feeling under the weather at the moment, though it does seemingly is carnivorous and seemingly eats Ivy's pet cat. Fun story. Gail Simone knocking it out of the park as per usual. Our next story, by Chris Condon and Jacob Phillips, is called Stacked Deck. So, we see Harley we see Dr. Quinzel making her argument to interview the Joker. She finally manages to convince her boss at Arkham let her do it, but she's got to be there at 8 a.m. sharp. Well, Harley overslept, got a flat. When she arrived at Arkham, saw her boss had been attacked by the Joker, and he'd in fact bitten her, opening her mouth from cheek to cheek. But Harley decided, moved, went to Central City, took a job at Iron Heights, talked to Captain Cole, Mirror Master, Weather Wizard, all the rogues. Compiling those for years, but there was one thing that still haunted her, gnawed her, despite her inherent revulsion. She was finished technically, but she was missing something that there was a page that felt missing. And so now, she's come to speak to the Joker, and she explains that she became a psychologist because she wanted to save the misunderstood society's monsters, wanted to be their friends, change their misperception. But the Joker's not a monster. He's not misunderstood. She understands him perfectly. He's nothing but a joke. Then she leaves. The story ends with her waking up, as Harley we all know and love, in bed next to the Joker. Our final story of the issue, The Rebound, written by Bidikar and Junie Ba, when drawn by Junie Ba. Harley and Joker have broken up. Ivy's constantly telling hey, be yourself, be just you for a while. She meets a cat though, and her and the cat is perfect, inseparable. And she has to take the cat on heists. Not like the cat is actually trained. It's a cat, not a super cat, just a cat. They do manage to steal the rare plant that Harley wanted to steal for Ivy. Turns out though it's carnivorous and big. Gets blown up, and Harley decides that it's time to, for her and her cat to go their separate ways. But she needs to make sure that her cat has a good home. Batman gets blamed for the heist, leaving Joker beat up in a dumpster. Harley said no point correcting Batman on that one. But she brought Ivy a flower and delivered the cat to someone who would definitely love and take care of it. Catwoman. That is where the story and the issue ends. The Gail Simone story was definitely the high point. There's some fun gags like Harley needing a battle cry. The best of the bunch being Hawkman's origin is too complicated, which, yes, it absolutely is. But, anyways, that's going to do it for this week. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Big shout out to Patreon patron Xander Lee. Thank you so much for your support. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Mastodon, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.